one thing that is common in most Indian families is that, at least in my parents' generation, when they were brought up as children, they weren't really taught to show physical signs of affection, like, hugging and kissing your children. I think that's a very Western concept. But children our age, like me, we expect those signs of positive strokes from our parents, but they don't understand that concept. So sometimes I feel like I get left out or they don't love me enough. But the way that they show their love is just different. And that is something that I've just come to terms with, that people have different love languages. And that is something that we should be accepting of. So I tried my best to write a letter, trying to let them know that my love language is different and maybe I don't communicate it the way they want me to. But that does not mean that I don't have love for them. There are a lot of discrepancies in our communication sometimes. What they expect from me and what I want to achieve, they tend to be different. But in the end, I know that what my parents want, it's for my benefit, it's for my best. But obviously, we're going to be a little stubborn. You want to get your way and you want to have your own fun. So try to address that with a letter, telling them that I really appreciate whatever they're doing for me and all the sacrifices that they do, because they always put me first and look at themselves later on. And they've gone through a lot of struggles just so I can be here where I am and live comfortably. And yeah, it was really emotional for me to write the letter, because like as I wrote, I had so many realizations of what were the different things. And now the first thing I want to do is just go tell my parents that I'm really thankful you're still here in my life and you're going to be there for me at every stage. And I want them to be there always. Yeah.
I would like to share my experience. Actually, I am someone who loves writing letters. Like for me, even on my birthday, if people ask me what you want, I think letters is the first thing I say, because I think that time that a person takes out to sit down and write something about you is priceless compared to any kind of gift that you can receive. And I've always been someone who loves collecting letters. And I myself, for all my friends on their birthdays or whatever the situation, I always do make it a point to give them some form of appreciation through a handmade letter or a scrapbook or something like that. But I feel like when I have to express, when it comes to I'm very friendly to my mom and we're very close. But there are a lot of times when I realize, I notice things she does and I see that, I find her very hardworking. I think she does a lot for me and my brother. But I feel like for some reason, we're not able to appreciate her enough. And when I didn't expect myself to cry, but when I started writing this letter, I did start crying and I stopped halfway because I couldn't go further. So I've not sent in my letter, but I did cry. And I was writing, every second sentence was thank you for this, thank you for that, because I think we somehow forget to appreciate people like our parents. I appreciate my friends a lot and I keep telling them how much I love them, how much they mean to me. But when it comes to my mom, I feel like for some reason, I do tell her that I love her, but not as much as I should be, not as much as I do with my friends. So when I was writing this letter, I did feel a lot of emotions come at me, and it was a very good feeling. And I will definitely complete it and hand it over to her. And yeah, it was a very good experience. I loved it. I really did.
So there's this practice that I always do. Each time she went for work, she's been working since the beginning, like since I was born. So I used to write these post-its and I used to stick it on the kitchen door. And those post-its would be like, hey, you're special, you should know that, and you mean a lot to me. I love you so much, and those small things that you do for me mean a lot to me. So those kind of things I used to like. I used to write it on a post-it and just stick it with a smiley. And I used to do that for my dad as well. Like in the room, I used to stick it on the mirror, and so that practice has always been there. But I don't know. Today, today when I was writing this, I think I felt a little more emotional because during this whole lockdown phase, we got even more attached, like even more attached. So I don't know, when I was writing, I just felt really emotional, and like all those thoughts and those, experiences that I've had with mom, especially mom, was just flashing, and it was a very good experience, and I feel I should do this more often because it made me feel